I'm back at the w3schools.com website looking at the CSS or Cascading Style Sheets tutorial. And the topic that I'm looking at in this episode is under the advanced topics in its display. Now, this lesson begins by showing you how you can turn the display of an item on and off or make it invisible. But there's something much more interesting as you move down. Look at this discussion of block and inline elements. A block element, like a heading or a paragraph or a division, takes up the entire width of your browser window and is preceded and followed by a carriage return. So it is set off by itself and takes the full width of the window, as opposed to an inline element, which only takes up as much space as necessary. An example would be an anchor tag. We've included links right into the text of a paragraph, and it only took as much space as the text that we anchored our link to. So given that, we can modify our list items in a list to be inline rather than block. And when we do that, we can begin to construct a decent looking menu for our web page. And that's exactly what I did. Here I've got a web page. This is the Let It Be Me song lyrics page that we worked on before. I changed the background a little bit and I added this menu. So we've got links to the 5 songs that we worked on in the past. So if I click on Last Kiss, it'll bring up Last Kiss. Okay? So how did we accomplish this? Well, let's go to Text Wrangler and have a look. Now the first thing that I did in my style sheet was I defined a style for an unordered list where I said set the right and left hand margins to 50 pixels, which when my window is relatively small works fine, but as you saw when I expanded my window, it's not centered. So it's a beginning. We're not quite where we want to be with our menu yet. Then I came down and defined styling definitions for my list item. And the first one there is display inline. So rather than have my list items, each one on a separate line, they're all on the same line. And then I played around with other factors like background color, font size, and padding to get the look that I wanted. The links, other than changing a few colors, were exactly the same link styles that we had before. So if I go back to the page and hover, the size increases. Now I did bring it down from 150% to 110%, so it's not quite as drastic. But you can definitely tell when you go hover over a link, something has happened. The color changes and the text expands slightly. Okay? Now, give this a try. Play around with it, and we'll come back and improve this menu in later episodes.